Have you ever really stopped to think about what powers pretty much everything on this planet? It's not some huge rumbling engine. Nope. It's actually a microscopic, solar-powered factory working away quietly inside every single green leaf. So today, we're going to take a journey deep inside that engine, the chloroplast, to see exactly how it pulls off the magic trick of turning sunlight into life itself. Okay, let's dive right in. To find this little factory of ours, we have to zoom way, way in. We'll start with a regular leaf, then push deeper, past the surface, into a single pleasant cell. And inside that cell, you can see them, these tiny green discs, all lined up, trying to catch as much sun as possible. Those are the chloroplasts. That's where we're headed. And we're in. Welcome to the powerhouse. For the next few minutes, just think of this chloroplast as a super efficient factory. And you've got an all-access pass for a tour of the factory floor. Now, check out the factory's layout. You've got these two membranes, an outer and an inner one. They're basically the factory walls, controlling security, deciding what comes in and what goes out. All the jelly-like stuff inside is called the stroma. That's the main assembly floor, and it's super important. And then you see those stacks of green pancakes? Those are the grana. Each individual pancake is a thylakoid, and that's where the first and most critical step of production kicks off. Every factory needs a production line, right? And this one is no different. Photosynthesis is this brilliant two-stage process. It's like an assembly line that starts with a raw material, sunlight, and ends with a finished product, sugar. So here's the deal. The first stage, the light reaction, is all about one thing: capturing that solar energy. It uses sunlight to create these little high energy molecules called ATP and NADPH. Just think of them as the factory's fully charged battery packs. These batteries then get sent over to power the second stage, the dark reaction, which uses all that stored energy to build the final product. Let's break this down a little more. You can almost think of it as a day shift and a night shift. The day shift, our light reaction, happens in those stacks of pancakes, the grana. And like the name says, it absolutely has to have light to work. It's just furiously charging up those ATP and NADPH batteries, and as a bonus, it kicks out the oxygen we breathe. Then the night shift, or the dark reaction, takes over on the main factory floor, the stroma, and it's completely dependent on those batteries from the day shift to do its job of making sugar. But hold on a second. Dark reaction? Does that mean it only happens at night when the sun's gone down? This is a super common question, and honestly, the name is a bit tricky. And here is the big reveal. The dark reaction has absolutely nothing to do with darkness. I know, right? The name is so misleading. It's only called that because it doesn't directly use photons of light. But, and this is the key, it is 100% dependent on those battery packs from the light reaction. So if the lights go out, the day shift stops making batteries, and the night shift immediately grinds to a halt. That's why a lot of scientists now call it the much more accurate, but maybe less catchy, light-independent reactions. So who are the actual workers on this assembly line? Who's doing the hard work of catching those sunbeams? Well, it's time to meet the pigment orchestra. Okay, now this is fascinating. On the left, you see the colors of light that the plant's pigments are actually absorbing, and on the right, you see the colors that are actually powering photosynthesis. See how they don't line up perfectly? The plant seems to be absorbing light in places where photosynthesis isn't even happening at full speed. So what gives? Is the plant just inefficient? Well, the secret is teamwork. It's not just one worker, it's a whole crew of them. This slide is like the program for our pigment orchestra. You've got chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and these other guys called carotenoids. Each one is a specialist, tuned to absorb different colors of light. It's how the plant makes sure it can use as much of the full solar spectrum as possible. But even in an orchestra, you have a lead conductor, right? A star performer. And when we lay the graph of photosynthesis in action on top of the absorption graph for just chlorophyll A, look at that. It's an almost perfect match. This is the smoking gun. It proves that chlorophyll A is the chief pigment, the boss that's actually doing the heavy lifting of turning light into chemical energy. But our star performer, chlorophyll A, can't do it all alone. That's where the rest of the orchestra, the accessory pigments, come in. They have two incredibly important jobs. First, they act like ushers, gathering up light from other parts of the spectrum that chlorophyll A would miss and funneling that energy over to the star. And second, they're basically bodyguards. They protect the all-important chlorophyll A molecule from getting fried by too much intense light. Okay, So we've met the workers. Now let's go check out the high-tech machinery they operate. It's time to meet the photosystems. So all these pigment workers, they're not just floating around randomly. They're organized into these incredibly sophisticated units called photosystems. You can think of them as the factory's advanced solar panels. There are two types, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. And here's a fun fact designed to confuse every biology student ever. They're named for the order they were discovered, not the order they actually work in. In reality, photosystem 2 actually comes first. Go figure. So what's the difference between the two? It all comes down to specialization. Think of it like they're tuned to different radio stations. Each one is designed to best absorb light at a very specific wavelength, which is just a fancy way of saying a specific color. Photosystem 1, also called P700, is tuned to grab light best at 700 nanometers. Photosystem 2, or P680, is tuned just a little differently, to 680 nanometers. This amazing teamwork lets them work one after the other to capture the sun's energy with incredible efficiency. So as we wrap up our tour, it's worth just taking a step back and remembering this simple but kind of mind-blowing idea. Every single green leaf you see out there is a little marvel of natural engineering, a self-contained, solar-powered factory that is literally fueling our entire world. All right, let's do a quick final inspection of our factory. We've seen its structure with that clear division of labor between the grana and the stroma. We followed its two-stage production line, the light reactions making the batteries, and the light-independent reactions using them to build sugar. We met the pigment orchestra with chlorophyll A as the conductor, supported by its backup crew. And we saw how they're all organized into two specialized photosystems to harvest light efficiently. It's just an unbelievably elegant design. It's an incredible process, isn't it? This tiny microscopic engine, perfected over billions of years, literally built the atmosphere we breathe and provides the foundation for almost every food web on the planet. It really makes you wonder, as we search for new, sustainable ways to power our own world, what other lessons can we learn from the humble solar-powered leaf?